Last December, David Stark and I wrote an essay about the sociology of testing, which was a good few weeks before the coronavirus first appeared. In our essay, we propose that our societies are increasingly governed, known, and organized by way of tests. And in the wake of the corona pandemic, this can only seem to have become literally true. We are told that the main form of protection against this disease, in the absence of a vaccine, is to test, test, test. And that the only reliable way to bring the disease under control at the moment is by testing and tracing people who are potentially infectious. Now, in our essay, we start with a question. We ask, have you been tested? We ask this question to flag how common testing has become. Students are tested, immigrants take citizen tests, cars are subjected not only to MOT tests, but to carbon emission tests. But this question, have you been tested, also highlights something else. It highlights the double-sided nature of testing. When you take a test, as for example a pregnancy test, you are testing your body, but you are also putting to the test your relationships with a partner, with friends and family, with employers. Now, this means that testing, physical testing, does double duty as social testing. And we take this point from the work of the American sociologist Joan Robinson. Now, this point seems key in today's corona outbreak also. So much of the focus lies on the rollout of physical tests, of viral testing, of antibody testing. But at the same time, testing and the absence of tests is putting society to the test. Testing confers responsibility. It means that people knowingly or unknowingly are infectious. It enables the singling out of individuals and placing strict requirements on them, like quarantine. Now, such social tests can seem to be a mere byproduct of physical testing and the fight against the disease. But it is much more than that, because the way we test transforms how we relate as a society, perhaps durably so. But there's also another reason why testing is key for sociology. And this is because testing moments like the corona outbreak can reveal the type of society we live in. In the UK, many people pride themselves on the world-class science that this country produces. But at the same time, the capacity of this society to organize scientific testing across society is shockingly low. Every day, in many different sectors of society, the insistence is on evidence-based reporting, evidence-based decision-making. But at the same time, the capacity to act on the basis of evidence is revealed to be incredibly weak. We do not, at the moment in the UK, live in a scientific society in that sense. At the same time, however, we see that all manner of apps and tools are being developed to track and monitor the disease. As for example, by King's College London, who's developing an app where users can self-report their symptoms. Now, it may be that these efforts are organizing a test society by different means. and this is also what we discuss in our essay in relation to different cases. We describe what we call the creation of test environments in society. Here, the focus shifts or lies very much on the use of infrastructures that are already available in society, like mobile phones, to capture data and to then use this data to analyze society, but also to use these infrastructures to intervene in society. So to give two examples, a Toronto startup called Blue Dot, which apparently detected the corona outbreak before anyone else did, by analyzing all manner of data from public health records to airline ticket data, livestock health reports, and analyzing these data using smart methods. In the European Union, there's currently a debate ongoing on whether mobile phones can be used to track people who are known to be infected by the disease and to notify others of this. Now, this to us is very much has everything to do with testing, even though it does not involve the rollout of physical tests, because here infrastructures are created and curated rather in society in order to represent and intervene on social life. Now, this raises very challenging questions for the sociology of testing, not least because this type of testing is often invisible. Subjects and actors are often not even aware that they are being tested, though this may change. So we ask, by what methods and by what means can sociology study how social life is today put to the test, infrastructurally and environmentally speaking?